a fire in us. Fans alive, we unite under the stadium lights. Every team, every score, we always hunger for more. Friday nights and Sunday games, we know all the biggest names. Huddle with the crew we trust. Football feeds the fire in us. Fans and mornings feeling alive. Jerseys on, we're ready to die. In the fan zone, we'll come on. Let's cheer loud, let's stand tall. Back and forth, the stories fly. Who's the best? Fans can't lie. Touchdowns, tackles, we discuss. Feel the rush, come join us.
Hey, we are back. Finally back for Fan Zone Live. It's been a minute since we've joined y'all. Glad y'all could make it, and hopefully get a few more join us as this goes along. We've got a busy night, so I don't want to waste too much time. We've got Miguel Morga coming from the Washington Wolfpack, and then we also have the CEO of Corpus Christi joining us tonight too. So it's back to back. We've got two guests. So like I said, rather than waste anybody's time, we want to make most of it. Let's bring Miguel on. So welcome. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, Scott. How about yourself?
Doing great. I got a chance to meet you out at Arena Bowl last year, and had a great time out there. Got to chat post game at the post game party, and definitely a good time. And I feel bad for the people who didn't get to make it out there, because it was a blast.
It was a great experience. Absolutely.
So let's get into it. So you have the schedule was released tonight, just a little bit ago. I know you haven't had it too long, from what it sounds like. So it's still pretty fresh for you. What's your initial thoughts, just right off the top?
I mean, the initial thought is we're ready to play football. I mean, this is an exciting moment to have the schedule release. We know we're playing teams in our division here three times. So we get to play Oregon 3 times, Billings 3 times, and Arizona 3 times. And I know, with this new iteration of the Oregon Lightning, we're excited to kind of reform and rebrand that rivalry. We're excited. We had some great games with Oregon last season, and Billings they're the defending champs, so they've got the bullseye on them all season long. So we came up short in a couple of games against them, and I know we've been retooling, and we're ready to take the mantle of the West and build a championship caliber program.
Well, you definitely weren't the only ones that coached short against Billings last year. They kind of had their way with a lot of folks last year. It was a well-built team for sure. Speaking of Billings, you actually have to go to Billings. You started to have three games against all your divisions. You have got 2 of those 3 against Billings are in Billings. So
yes, we're excited. I mean, Billings is a great host, and they have a just an incredible professional organization. And again, they're the returning champions, the defending champs. So we're eager, we're excited. I mean, if you've had a chance, anyone on here has had a chance to listen to Coach J.R. Wells, he doesn't back down from any challenge. So he's ready. If Billings wants to call themselves the best, we want to be right there with them. We want to play. We want to show them that the 2025 Washington Wolfpack are going to be the team to beat. So get your tickets. Come to the Angel of the Winds Arena in Everett. Watch us streaming. Watch us on TV. This is the team to root for.
So definitely excited to get more information on the streaming and the TV stuff, and I'm not gonna let you not get you in trouble or anything, so I won't even ask. But
there will be ways to watch us next year, and encourage you to take advantage of all of those. And that's we're building, and with the debacle that was 2024, and I don't want to spend too much time dwelling on the negatives, but we've been building for a year. And we're ready. We're ready for prime time. All of the teams in Arena Football 1 are ready for prime time, and I'm excited. The 7 other teams that finished the season last year with the former league, and then with these expansion teams, and seeing Oregon coming back, Arizona there, Corpus Christi, and I'm sorry, Wilkes-Barre. Wilkes-Barre is the other one. I mean, these are just great additions, great markets, great opportunities. This is a national league. It's going to be the best of arena football in the country, and it's going to be amazing. I can't say enough about how excited we are. Last year, as you know, I've mentioned in other interviews, our ownership group we didn't know what we were walking into with professional football. We just kind of jumped in. We saw this as a cause, and we wanted to be part of it. And now we're grizzled veterans after that year, and so we're ready. We're laying the foundation, and I still say we've got the best branding with our
100%
color scheme. We're just this is going to be special. 2025 is going to be a really special season.
I say, yeah, if last year didn't hard you and give you some calluses, I don't know what will. So, before we get on to what you're looking forward to or this next year in terms of your team and what that's going, the last schedule question I have for you. Looking at the schedule, you guys have the latest 2 bye weeks out of the entire league. So your first bye week comes in week 10, and your last bye week comes in week 13. Any challenges, benefits you see with the schedule so much?
I didn't make the schedule, so I'd be remiss if I didn't just say this is an advantage. We're gonna get those wins under our belt early in the season, have some time to rest and deal with some the injuries that happen throughout a football season. So I can say, and in talking to Coach Wells, bye weeks and when those are happening, and when they're the away games and the home games, none of that really makes that big of a difference. It might matter on the margins, but we want to play football. So you got
to play when it's on your schedule. Ultimately,
exactly. So control what you can control. And I think it's we're going to deal with it. Other teams are going to deal with it early in the season, and have a long string of games at the end. But I don't. Those are things that I don't really want to dive too far into. We're just excited to have the season released, to have the teams on board, to watch what's building, and to be in a position to take advantage of that.
So without getting too much into the weeds of last year, because again, last year, it's a different league. We need to put all that behind us. But how? Compare and contrast this year versus last year from what you've seen already. I know you had Arena Football U. From the outside perspective, it looks like it's much more organized. But what are you seeing from your end?
Oh, it's absolutely much more organized. We have real professionals that are working the program, with Jerry Kurz as CEO, Jeff Fisher staying on as commissioner, and the ton of talented individuals that they've surrounded the league with. I mean, this is a well organized and well run machine, and just to learn learn about things that we wouldn't have explored, we wouldn't have thought about. I'm sure Jerry has forgotten more about arena football than most people will ever learn, and he's still the smartest man in the room. So just trying to absorb any information from him and others that have been around, Gary Compton. The list is pretty lengthy. It's much better organized. It's built to succeed, to grow, and to grow the sport. And I think that's all of us that are involved in this league. We need to understand that we are the standard bearers to bring arena football back to the prominence that it was a couple decades ago. And so we all have to look at it in that manner. And I believe we all are. So that's what's exciting is, I'm 41 years old. I remember Kurt Warner in arena football. I remember some of that heyday. But for a big portion of this country, this is still a new sport. They're still learning it. They're still growing. But there's nothing more exciting than arena football. And so as we are those standard bearers building, I have no doubt that we are going to be that prominent league and come back to the heyday of what arena football was.
So what does that look like today? Because 20 years ago, when I got involved, it was a different world. Streaming wasn't a thing, and network TV was still where everything was at. So what does that look like in today's world to be the prominent?
We got to go to the fans where they're at, and you bring up an advantage that we have now that arena football didn't have in the heyday. Is there's so many more ways to reach fans. There's this format. I can't even claim that I understand what this format is, but it's another way to reach fans, and that's what we have to focus on. Wherever there are fans, wherever there are people interested in the game, that's where we need to be. And I look at just the WWE developing a short form program for X, formerly Twitter. They're moving their platform to Netflix for their big show. And you just see other sports that are utilizing more of these quote unquote non-traditional forums to get to more fans, and that's what we need to be focused on.
Like the fight last weekend. I mean, how many people tuned into Netflix for a fight?
60 million. 60 million, I believe was what they were reporting, but that's just it, and that didn't exist. The last time Tyson had a major fight, that didn't exist. So I see just the forward thinking with getting to the fans where they're at. Not necessarily boxing ourselves into a specific model. I've also been very emphatic about looking at the crossover appeal from other sports. Most people who are involved in arena football, they come from a traditional football background. What we've found playing in the the same arena as the Everett Silvertips, and it's just such an amazing organization, an amazing fan base, and many of their fans adopted us. Their season ticket holders became our season ticket holders, not necessarily because they were traditional outdoor football fans, but they wanted to support teams that are in the community. And I had a bunch of them come to me and say that the game feels a lot more like hockey than they were expecting. Mm-hmm. And I've heard fans of indoor soccer say the same thing, that the style of the game blends beyond those that are just interested in outdoor traditional American football.
I've always likened it to football played with a basketball mindset. It's about scoring in every possession, getting that turnover to make a big difference.
Yeah, that's a great analogy, and I think we just have to be open to those markets, to again going to those fans where they're at, finding ways to get in front. When someone watches a game, they fall in love with it. That's one thing that was. We found that time and time again. our last home game of the season, and I know you promised you wouldn't beat me up too much about it, but our record was not stellar last year. I will freely acknowledge that. In our last game, we had our largest attendance, and we had the loudest crowd that we had, and we sold the most merchandise that we had all season long. People fell in love with the game watching us, and that's again what is so exciting, because we're just going to put this in front of more people in 2025. So it's going to be more people falling in love, more growth, and just where I see nothing but upward trajectory for the AF1.
Yeah, and it is that accessibility. People that have known me know I say it all the time, that it's you go to these games and you start to get to know some of the players and the coaches and the owners and everybody else involved. And when all of a sudden your team scores, it's no longer just that your team scores and you're excited about that. It's a friend of yours now that just scored that touchdown. That's somebody you get to see afterwards and talk with them for a little while. I mean, some of the relationships I've made over the years, I hang out with any of these guys any day. It's just how it is.
Yeah, about half
makes it special.
Ticket holders, half of our season ticket holders have my cell phone number. I was texting with one earlier today about 2025 and the tickets that he wanted. So yes, there is a different connection to two teams when you become a fan of arena football.
So one of the things I did want to talk to you about with comparing last year to this year, something we spoke with at the Arena Bowl was kind of your strategy last year. That what you were telling me, it wasn't so much about winning games last year; it was about making a name and creating a brand and bringing in the local players.
Yeah, I will just say that we wanted to make sure that everyone had an enjoyable experience coming to our games. That was the focus. Putting the games on. It had been a long time since there had been any type of indoor football in the city of Everett, and so we were very judicious with our player selections. We wanted high caliber, quality individuals. We knew that it would be a challenge. We recruited primarily outdoor football players, and to convert into arena football style, the indoor style, smaller field, different rules, and we knew there'd be a learning curve. I think where I erred, and I take complete responsibility for that, was the learning curve was a little harder, a little longer than I was anticipating, and so
it's the same game, but it's not at the same time.
Absolutely, and that's So when we were putting together our team, we wanted to compete. I still look at that original schedule that was released back when there were 16 teams and we were all optimistic about the 2024 season. I think we built a slightly above 500 team, and I was pretty excited about putting ourselves in a position late in the season to take advantage and make a playoff run, and just so many things went wrong with 2024. But the one thing that we never sacrificed, and I would ask anyone to speak up and say otherwise, was that fan experience. I don't think our fans really knew all of the extra things that were happening nationwide with that league and some of the characters that were running it, the unfulfilled promises, etc. They were focused on coming and enjoying a game, and we had the players, we had the professionals, we had the individuals that could sustain that and still ensure that they were playing to the best of their ability. We were putting a good product on the field, and people were enjoying it. And so for me, when I look at measurables of, were we successful? I believe we were wildly successful. And I go back to, our attendance in our last game was about 60% higher than the game prior to that. We sold the most merchandise of any of our games, and that was
tells you you're doing something right.
When we finished the season 2-7, we were 2-6 going into that game. So from all the things that I felt mattered last year, I believe we were successful. Obviously, and JR, I know he's out there saying we didn't get the ring, so there's more to be had, and we've definitely shifted to a more strategic mindset going into 2025, and kind of having a different balance of outdoor versus indoor veterans. I looked at some of the players that we brought back. Jonathan Navarro was a late season signing that we had. Just a tremendous athlete that I'm just excited to see how far he can grow. Dom Moore, one of our offensive linemen that we're bringing back, 6'8", 300 plus pounds. Again, we signed him a couple weeks in. Now he's got that full off season that he's preparing. He's going to be an absolute beast on the line. And then signing Otis Odom, from Salina to come out here, just adding that extra weapon. I'm really excited about the mix that we're putting together of strategic in our recruitment, still having some of our local players and returning players that were instrumental to our team last year. I think it's really going to be special. And I know Coach Wells has been working really hard. The one thing he knows that we're not going to sacrifice is the professionalism and fan experience. But finding those highest level of players that believe in the mindset, believe in the vision that we're doing, know that we're building something special out here in Everett, Washington. And again, then we're going to get that ring.
That's always the goal. But, it's something you brought up too. It's like, only one team's going to get the ring. You want it to be your team always, but only one team's going to end up with it. So that means every other team's not going to. So that, where you're talking about the fan experience, I've been part of 2 different Kansas City teams and the Iowa Barnstormers, and traveled a bunch to see a bunch of different teams. Very rarely were any of those teams any good. But I had the time of my life at these games, and that's what sticks with me. Yeah, I can tell you about the 93-point loss to Grand Rapids, but that was that's kind of cool. They scored 90 on us. That was kind of neat. But when it came down to it, it was a fan experience, and then that can never get stressed enough. There was a team, I think, and I could be wrong, in the IFL last year, that at one point was talking about charging to have fans come on the field to get autographs after the game. It's like, come on, you can't do that. You're sacrificing what you are to make something like that happen.
Absolutely. And I've told you in a different setting, like this is one of my favorite pictures for a number of reasons. One, it highlights one of our great sponsors, Bosch. It shows our helmets, amazing play by Jordan Pouncey, grabbing that ball. But my favorite thing in this picture is that kid with his mouth wide open in the background, because he got to see something really special, and he knows it. And that's going to stick with him longer than that catch, that Bosch advertisement, the helmet. That's why we do it.
He'll never forget that.
Absolutely. So I mean,
speaking of, I've got a 5-year-old who's not happy that you let Max get away to Tulsa.
I don't know that we were that happy about that either, but no, and and just another person, just an amazingly quality individual that I wish nothing but success for him. And he was a spark for us last year when we needed a spark, and just a consummate professional in every sense of the word. So, I wish him well in Tulsa, and you can tell your 5-year-old, we'll have lots of other players that are going to be great, amazing, special players, and they're going to be wearing the best helmet in the AF1.
Well, we were at the Salina game when you guys came to town, and we pretty much followed Salina most of last year since we're out of Kansas City, and we were talking to him, who are you rooting for today? He's like, I like the Liberty, but I want Washington to win because Max is on the team. He got to know him in Topeka and was excited for him to play the Rampage, and obviously that all fell through. And when he came to town, oh man, he lit up as soon as he knew he's going to see him. So
yeah, I believe that's where we grabbed Dom Moore from too. Was that folded Iowa Rampage team?
Yeah, that man. I'll tell you what, they had a stacked team, and they kept it together. So,
but and that's part of that. That's part of the business side of it, and you know we saw that West Texas had a very solid team, but then had to shut down operations as well. I mean, planning and kind of charting out that full season is an absolute necessity. And I like what we've done. I've liked the planning that we're doing. We have a great ownership group. We have a great supporting team, and I think you know we're ready. I think you know JR wants to be on the sidelines this week. I think if he could coaching.
we're all ready. We're all ready at this point. So, well, we're coming up on top of the hour. What message you have out there for fans, for potential players, for potential sponsors? What do you want to put out there for all of the above?
Arena football. I mean, this I could speak for hours on all of those. I'll just say 2025 is a year to be involved with arena football and Arena Football One. If you're a sponsor, you're going to get your product in front of eyes of passionate fans who are passionate about supporters for their teams. If you're a fan, you're not going to see a better sport, a better performance for your money anywhere else. And for players, Everett, Washington is a special and amazing place, and there's no better place to call home than the Pacific Northwest, Everett, Washington, Seattle metro area. This is just going to be amazing. It's an amazing time for arena football, and this is the time to invest your passion, invest your dollars, invest your time.
So, perfect. Yeah, I appreciate your time. Like I said, it's kind of busy night. Apparently, we got multiple fan sites all doing different interviews tonight. We got back to back, kind of across the board with everybody. It's kind of fun having this just arena football explosion tonight. You know, with the schedule leading into all this. So, I appreciate your time so much. I definitely would love to get you back on again later in the season as the season gets closer and just kind of catch up again, just see how things are going.
Anytime, I'm always here.
So I appreciate it. Thanks again, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the second half of this. We got two folks here from Corpus. I'm gonna go ahead and pull both of them in now, guys. Welcome. I haven't had a chance to meet y'all, so welcome. Thanks for joining, and let's introduce yourselves.
I'm Joseph Alvey, co-owner.
And I'm Kevin Cecil. I'm the co-owner as well.
So appreciate you all's time. Like I said, it's kind of thrown together last minute, trying to get this all sorted out with everybody involved. But so you guys are the new kids on the block. You've been around, but not around this block. So what? Tell me about you guys. Tell me, give me some history. What's the deal with Corpus Christi and their background? Because like I said, you guys aren't new. You're just new to us.
Yeah, we're obviously new to the AF1. We're not really new to the arena world. I mean, we kicked off last year in the AIF. We made it into the championship round where we ended up losing. But just being able to bring back a team to Corpus Christi speaks volume, especially after the history that city went through with many years of arena football downfall. So being able to come back into the actual play and working it into the caliber that we wanted, fan engagement, community engagement. We have a beautiful arena by the ocean side. We did a lot of co-branding, marketing, community engagement. It was all about getting us out there So people would know, hey, this is what we're doing now. I mean, did we obviously get a lot of backlash from doing that? Absolutely. But we learned, right? With everything you do, there's obstacles that are in your way, and you learn and overcome those obstacles.
So speaking of obstacles, I have to bring up the elephant in the room because it's been a thing on social media quite a bit. Is the big story of you guys not being in NAL and now finding yourselves in the AF1. What led to this? How did that fall apart to where you're here? I mean, glad to have y'all, but what happened?
I don't know. Joe, do you want to touch up on that? You want to touch base on that?
Well, there was a few discrepancies, let's say, and we found that this is a better opportunity for our fans, for our players, for our ownership to jump into this league, and we are very excited to move forward and to see the competition and see what our team can do.
So whatever concerns the NAL had are baseless at this point. We're good to go.
Yeah, I mean, no ill intent to those guys. Wish them nothing but the best, but we like Jody said, there were some discrepancies there, and we had to just part ways mutually, and that's what we did. So, no love lost there. We're happy to be in the AF1.
They say we'd love to have you. I think fans just want that assurance. So, hey, things really are okay, because that is it's always a concern, especially seeing what happened with the AFL last year and how things went the way they did. That stability is huge right now. So that's definitely what folks are looking for. So what do you think? The schedule came out today, and I don't know how much you guys had a chance to look over it. What's your thoughts? What's your feelings? You guys are going to be grouped up with in my area. I'm out of Kansas City, so you'll be up here with all the Kansas teams in this division. So what's your feel? What's your overall take on this?
I'm happy. I'm excited to see. There's 3 divisions. We're obviously in the central location, so being able to face the Kansas teams, they've had some talent, a lot of talent last year, great talent at that. So, we're the underdogs. We're coming into a new league. All eyes are on us to see what we can bring, what we can develop as far as players, coaches, and stuff like that. So, there's a lot of goals that we have for our first year in this league, but we got to take every step with a grain of salt and make sure we do what's right and not fall over our own feet.
With preparing for this year, we've got coaches lined up, players lined up. Like I said, you guys are fairly recent announcements. How are things looking in that department?
Go ahead, Jody.
So our coaches are lined up for the most part. Let's say they're making adjustments to bring in who they want. Player signings will be going out shortly. Everything obviously has got to get approved, but we're excited to bring in people from out of state that normally would not see the coastline. They are extremely excited, and they're getting word just from last year's players of the excitement and the community and the embracement that they received once they got down here.
And that's huge. Yeah, I was just talking to Miguel about that. Just the community involvement, getting the fans to get to know some of these players. One of the things I actually didn't bring up prior is the former general manager of the Iowa Barn Stores. He always used to say that men buy the season tickets, but the wives renew the season tickets, and that's all based on those relationships being built. There's some truth to that. I've experienced it. My wife loves this. My kid loves this. He's 5 years old and he can't wait to go see his favorite players. There's something to that, and having that exposure with the fans and just really getting ingrained with them, I think is kind of the key to it. So that being said, what do you guys do, or how are you guys planning community events, getting out there and talking to, and just getting involved in the community? What are you guys looking to do?
A lot of our community events is with our sponsors that maybe, restaurants and stuff like that with our players. Our players are on a contract. They engage with the fans no matter what and where they're at. At any moment when when they're in Corpus, they represent the Tritons. Any of the fans can come up at any time, autograph their shirt, whatever they have. Multiple times eating at restaurants, they've stopped and take photos and just sit and talk with everybody, and that brings in more to the arena for the future games.
Not like I was just telling Miguel, when you get to know these guys, it changes from just my team scored to my friend scored. People heard me say that a million times over the years, but it's you get that relationship, and it's like, wow, yeah, I'm excited because my team's winning, but I'm also excited because that guy I know really well also just did well, and it just overall changes how you deal with it, and how you deal with it as a fan. Are you looking at bringing back much of the team from last year? Are we doing a little more of a rebuild between leagues?
We're gonna do like a little bit more of a rebuild. I mean, I think we have about maybe 3 or 4 guys from last year coming back. I know these guys are excited, but we're also looking at the top talent that we can bring from across the states to come down to Corpus Christi to be a part of this great organization that we built from the ground up. So we're excited to see what our coaches will bring in.
And it was AIF last year, correct?
Yes.
And that had its own turbulent season as well, much like the AFL did last year. So
Yeah,
what kind of things? Yeah, what kind of things? What kind of things did you guys learn from that? And how are you seeing things different in the AF1 versus where you came?
We learned a lot. I think, speaking for myself and Jody here, we learned a lot from the AIF going into the AF1. It's more so with the structure of the ownership who's within that league, from the commissioner to like the CEO all the way down in that level. It basically starts at the top and it goes down to the teams at that point. If you don't have that structure at the top, then it's basically like letting your teams do a free for all, like pick your own venture type of deal. And I think that's what happened with us last season is we had teams in like set, and then teams fell off, and then we had to go out and like pick our teams to come play us so we can manage that home game stand without losing out on anything, and really kissing the season goodbye for one, and two, arena football. I mean, we worked really hard bringing this back. I mean, it was a lot of shaking hands, kissing babies. Hey, this is who we are. This is why we're here. We're being asked, what are you guys doing different? How can you be different? And I just think the first year of us doing everything we've done, we proved ourselves that, hey, this is what an organization is all about, and this is what we need to do. So definitely starts with the top all the way to the bottom, and we definitely learned that. So being with the AF1, just the way they're structured from the very top all the way down, it's great. It's a night and day difference.
And that's definitely what I'm hearing too from the AFL owners to now AF1 owners. It's compared to how the season started last year with those on top and direction. It just was non-existent compared to this. This is, for the most part, from what I'm hearing, it's been incredible how well they've set this up. Again, fans are looking for that stability, and if they know that, hey, it's good up top and it's going to work its way down, that's what we're wanting to see.
Oh yeah.
I think we all got a little PTSD after the last couple of seasons. So.
Definitely.
So, philosophy-wise, like what kind of players, what kind of coaches, what kind of people? I mean, I know you guys aren't the play callers, but you guys have some say in who gets signed and who's around. What kind of general philosophy are you guys looking for?
So obviously, one of our head coaches that we have, Coach Johnny Anderson J. A lot of people know him in the arena world. I mean, he holds a big credibility in the arena world. I mean, once we announced him when we were in the previous league before all that stuff happened, and then we got to the AF1, he carried with us. He stayed with us. He was like, hey, I see the vision in this organization. I see the greater good. I see what you guys are doing. And honestly, this is where I want to be. You guys have done everything that you needed to do as an organization from the top to bottom. We all learn from our mistakes. And what I tell people is, there's a lot of losses that we take, and we take those L's and we turn them into lessons. We move, learn from them, move on, and hope and pray that we don't make those same mistakes moving forward. So obviously our head coach, we give him a lot of pull when it comes to getting his other coaches. Our offensive coordinator is Jermaine Blakely. He goes by Coach Spanks. I'm sure a lot of people know him as well. He's a big name in the arena world too. And then they're building the coaching staff from there. And then from there, they're, like I said, we have about 3 or 4 players coming back, and then they have a laundry list of players that like reached out to them that want to come play for us. So we're basically letting them build the roster this year from what we did last year.
So I'm looking at you know, a very likely national broadcast deal of some TV deal of some sort. How does that fit in with Corpus Christi? It's a smaller city, but still a city.
Oh,
How's
it's
that fit? Like getting that excitement? Does that bring in any extra hype?
oh, it does. It does. Corpus is one of those where we want to put the city back on the map. I mean, yeah, they're a smaller city, but you got to look. They have, wrestling shows that come to that town that are aired, live on television. They have last year when we had the owners meeting in the AIF, we were able to get tickets to the top ranked boxing match that was live on ESPN. So being on a broadcasting national level, that's big for us. That's not only big
Yeah,
for
it's gonna be
us as
big.
an organization, but it's big for the city as itself because it's bringing them back on the map. Plus, Corpus is a big tourism city, so all those businesses down there, all the corporate businesses down there, they get the opportunity to have their name out there on national TV as their business, continues to grow.
And that's got to help with sponsors too. Of just saying, hey, you're going to be on X network, 3 times next year, all
Mhm.
across the country. They're going to see your name on the wall. So I imagine that helps quite a bit with that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
Correct.
so what kind of message do you want to send to prospective players, sponsors, fans that are on the fence and never seen this before? What kind of message do you want to send to these guys?
We can tell them like come out to a game. I mean, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, Jody, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we picked up, I think about another 10 to 15 sponsors like halfway through the season because
Yes.
that was our first time coming to the game, and they had no clue we were there.
Mhm.
We didn't have these big billboards. We didn't have, you know, TV deals. Like, yeah, do we have a TV deal with one of the local TV stations on there? Absolutely. But we knew with a lot of it, money is an aspect, right? It's what basically makes the world go round. So we had to go different avenues. But every now and then, the news network or news station that we were partnered up with, they would show us love every now and then. They would come to our games. They actually televise our games on one of their sister local channels that airs Thursday night football, like for high school. They ended up airing our stuff live for people to see it at home. And then that's when more people started coming to the games, and that's where we were able to engage more with the fans. And knowing those fans were also business owners, so that helped us out tremendously because like, hey, let's talk, tomorrow, or let's talk in a couple of days. I want to sponsor the team. Let's see what we can do. So it's always great when stuff like that happens.
And any challenges do you see towards traveling and whatnot? Because you do play each division team 3 times. That means quite a few trips into Kansas. Any difficulty? I mean, because I guess you guys are a little ways down there. It's a good, 14, 15-hour drive to most of these cities.
Yeah, I think the most expensive travel, I think, again, Jody, correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say it's our air travel. I mean, traveling to
Yes.
Orlando,
And I believe Washington.
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 Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
probably be like our most expensive. I think just the Kansas teams alone, we should be good with taking like a sleeper bus. Honestly, I think it's within that 18-hour window, so
Mhm.
we should be good on that.
I googled it the other night. I was like about 14 hours from here in Kansas City, and most of those aren't about the same distance away.
Yeah,
So I'm still trying to debate whether I want to make that drive. I got family in Houston, and I'm like, oh, I could stop there and then make the little 3-hour drive down. So, so you guys are on my radar. It's a matter of finding the right weekend and time to do it. So,
well, let us
uh,
know. Let us know,
Excellent.
man.
Yeah.
We'll
Let
we'll,
us know.
we'll get you
yeah,
in.
definitely. Yeah, I mean, I just I've traveled all around the country, and even out as far as Hawaii to go see some of these games. So it's kind of cool going to all these different buildings. I counted up one day. I think it's like 35 different arenas I've been to over the years. So,
We'll add
so yeah,
Corpus Christi as your 36th.
Yes.
we got to get you on there for sure, for sure. But guys, like I said, I don't have too much. Mainly just want to get you guys introduced to the arena world, and then the arena world to you guys, and
Appreciate it. Thank you.
yeah, and just kind of
Absolutely.
likes to
Thank
get your
you.
message out there. And again, the biggest concern, because big news, hey, you guys are out of the NAL. I know that was always. And it's like, wait a minute. Now they're coming to AF1. So,
Yeah, that door closed a lot faster than we expected, but when one door closes, another one opens, and honestly, we left it to the big guy upstairs. If it wasn't for that guy upstairs leading us in the direction he wanted us to go in, I don't, it was going to happen sooner or later. Again, like I said, no ill will or ill intent against that league or that organizational group over there. Just things didn't work out, and it ended up working out for another league that we wanted to be in. So, we got to take it. We got to take everything that we do with a grain of salt, and we got to trust the faith in the Lord to lead us in that direction.
And I think the future's bright for you guys. I mean, with Monterey coming in 2026, you'd have to imagine a Dallas area team's got to be coming sometime soon.
Yeah.
Houston's due for a team. They haven't had a team in forever. So I mean, there's a lot of potential in the future. To have a nice little regional, just a regional Texas division alone.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Agreed.
Again, I'm just kind of spitballing and just pipe dream stuff, but I don't know. So a lot of these cities make a lot of sense, and I know Dallas has got a lot of really good fans, and they're dying for the game to come back. So you guys have an instant rivalry with a bunch of good people up there. So, but again, like I said, I won't take up too much of your time, man. I just want to introduce you guys to everybody and everybody to you guys, and see what we can do. Keep promoting this game, keep promoting you guys, and like I said, I guess that's pretty much it. Any last messages for prospective players, for fans? I kind of asked you this already, but anything else? Any other message you want to get out there? Why Corpus? Why do you guys want to be Corpus Christi?
Just get ready. It's going to be exciting and be a lot of hard hitting.
So, all right, guys. Well, like I said, unless you have anything else, I think I'm good for the evening. I appreciate your time. So I don't want to take up too much. It's been a busy night for everybody. So I got a couple folks popping up in chat. Greg Rogers, I think he's pretty excited for you guys here.
Yes.
Oh yeah, he's our equipment manager. Great kid.
Right on. But again, guys, thank you so much. And you need anything from me, anything I can do to help you all out, just holler at me. I'm happy to do whatever I can to get your all's message out. And,
got it.
And hey, I'm ready for this season. We got the schedule's here. It's finally real. So
yes,
absolutely.
Us too. Thank you, Scott.
So, all right, thank you guys, and we'll be talking soon. Take care.
Absolutely,
yes, sir.
Thank you.
Good night.
So, all right, big thank you to all the guests tonight and all you popped into chat. And I apologize, I did miss some messages as we were going on tonight. Very early on, we had let's see, what the 4E gaming. So love the singer. So I'm assuming he's talking about the intro song. Singer's awesome. Singer's also not real. Found a killer AI program that wrote the theme song for the show for me. So yeah, really cool. Voodoo helmet in back. Yeah, another actually over here, wherever this is. Yeah, another one of my fun little trophies I've got. Actually got that from John Pettit we mentioned earlier. He sold that to me after he got some of the voodoo equipment when they went under. But again, Greg, thank you so much for joining. Looking forward to seeing your work out there this year. Charles, as always, appreciate you coming out. Anyone else, reach out to me if y'all have any questions. Who do you want to see covered? Let me know what you want to see in the future, and we will see what we can do about making it happen. So, again, thank you, everyone. We'll be talking to you soon.
Tackles we discuss.